Well, good evening. This is Dewey Mosley coming to you from Jireh LLC, where we're providing for your future. And I would like to start today's daily trading update for 23 February 2021. So great day in the markets again, and look forward to sharing it with you. So let's go ahead and get started on our disclosures and disclaimers. As always, I'd like to remind you that trading and investing does involve significant risk, and everything that we teach you here at Jireh LLC is for informational and educational purposes only. So make sure that you're being careful out there, observe proper risk management, and make sure you know what you're doing. So with that, let's go ahead and cut the tunes, and we will get over to the markets. All right. All right, so as always, like to just use a couple of positions for proxies so that you can learn the principles that we're talking about and then apply those to whatever it is that you choose to trade. Just an absolutely intriguing day in the markets today. And if you were in there, depending on what you were trading, you might have had either a wild ride or a really boring day, just depending. As we look at the S&P 500, you know, we went on a channel to the upside here, pretty bullish, broke out, came back in. And then as I've just been talking about day after day after day, it is getting harder and harder to justify the levels that we're at in the markets. And the argument that I've been making is that while you have to trade what's in front of you, it does not appear to me that the performance of companies is driving the levels that we're at or the performance of the S&P 500. It is my opinion that the large majority of what we're seeing is actually based on what I would call artificial impetus to go higher. Those two things being a very accommodative Fed, very low interest rates and other things that they're doing, plus the promise of a stimulus package that is going to come through that really will boost the economy and the markets. But that really does not speak to the earnings and profitability of companies, which is what I would much rather see from a fundamental perspective. So I think today was an absolute object lesson in believing why that might be true. As you can see this day, now remember, this is a daily chart. And you can see that we have a very large candle here, but most of that candle is a wick. And we absolutely tore to the downside. I mean, if you look at kind of where we started, that's almost, you know, 1,000-point drop in the Dow, 100-point drop in the S&P, only to get all the way down here, turn around and come all the way back. Well, what explains that? Well, it appears that the market was very concerned about inflation creeping back into the markets, which would tend to make the Federal Reserve want to raise interest rates, right? That would be less accommodating, and the market immediately started to react to that, especially a lot of these high-tech names. If you look at what happened to the Teslas of the world and some of these more technology stocks that have been flying high, they really took it hard today. And then, of course, the Fed chair, Powell, comes out and he, although it's switching over to Janet Yellen here soon, and he just with his words says, hey, guys, inflation isn't enough to make me change my mind here. And just on those words alone, you saw the market come all the way back. It wasn't about any company that said, hey, we had great earnings. It wasn't about Apple coming out and saying, hey, we have the new replacement for smartphones. None of that is what drove this. It is simply people reacting to macroeconomic factors and monetary policy, perhaps fiscal policy as well. So that gives me a clue that that theory is correct. But as always, you must trade what's in front of you. So when we look at this, I know in the past I've said dojis are pretty bad, but what I did was we kind of pulled some more of our tools out of our toolkit, and we're employing a very specific strategy that we use to give us an advantage. And what I did was I put a couple of extra things into this strategy to help me really deal with days like this, especially when things turn around. So if we were to look at today at the hourly level, It's really interesting. And of course, if you want to know the specifics of how this strategy works, of course, you can always join our team. But the bottom line is, over the last couple of days, we started to make that turn to the downside. And today, of course, we really went pretty low, right? What we were able to do was to ride that down, catch a good portion of that move to the downside, close out, let it come up and settle at a higher price, right? And in some respects, because of the strategies that we're employing, we also captured a portion of this upside. And now we are positioned, if I kind of switch accounts here, we are positioned in a pretty good place to kind of reset. So the good news about what happened today is we were able to take advantage of both sides of that move, which is something that's very difficult to do. But I think the strategies that we're employing do it particularly well. So super excited about what happened today. Enormous profits came out of this, and we're just looking forward to what it's going to do here going forward. Briefly, let me get over here to the euro. We'll take a look at it at the daily level. Much less exciting day there. If we get out to the daily level, we'll see that it kind of moved in both directions, but ended up in the same place and didn't really go very far. So I wouldn't quite call that a doji, but it's pretty close, right? Not a lot to do when you barely move and end up in the same place, even at the daily level. At the daily level, you can see where this day started. A little bit of a wave to the upside, a little bit of a wave to the downside, and kind of right back where we started. So not a lot to do with that. We're just looking forward to catching any moves going forward in the future. So again, exciting day today. Look forward to how this is going to play out going forward. So with that, that ends our daily trading update. Of course, if you are watching this and you want to know more about what we do, how we do it, and you yourself want to learn how to trade or learn to be a better trader, we specialize in trading strategy development. So if you want to know more, there's a couple of things you can do. First of all, if you watch this video, if you thought it was intriguing, please take the time to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and even leave us some comments. We really do enjoy feedback. You can see in both corners of the screen, you have the ability to subscribe on one side. And if you'd like to see more of these daily trading updates, which are the videos that are allowed to folks that are outside of our team, you can just click on that playlist and you can look at previous days' recordings. So with that, enjoyed being with you here today, and we wish you the best in trading. God bless, and we look forward to seeing you at the next daily trading update. This is Dewey Mosley from Jireh LLC.